So welcome to today. I'm Christine.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are Double Defense. We're an all-female New York Rangers podcast, bringing you fun conversation about our New York Rangers, the NHL and hockey, and so much more. Thank you for joining us.
Well, hello, ladies. Happy New Year. Happy 2023.
Happy New Year.
2023. We made it.
We did.
I feel like I'm kind of surprised about that after our party.
Was there a party? I don't remember much.
Somebody disappeared, and I think my body just rejected everything. So I stayed awake as long as I could. I just drove home. I would have stayed there, but I was like, my body was ready to stop. Yeah, so I slept nice and well the next day. It was absolutely fun. Definitely bring it in the new year, and I have to say, I can't wait to get together. When meeting friends and seeing some of the old people, we were now co-hosts. This is my co-host. This is my co-host. This is my co-host of my podcast. Oh, I heard about you. Oh, I'm following you. It was so cute. So it was very fun to meet everybody. And also just from the people that I've been able to meet through Liz too, the support and of the friends is there. And first and foremost, starting off the year, definitely we want to thank, and I know it's going to tie into our session today here, to thank our family and friends, because it always starts with whom we know the best, and we do rely on their support and their criticisms and their likes and praise, and we're most thankful for that all around. So thank you all for getting us this far. Well I appreciate it.
It's been an adventure for sure. And I think we're in store for a lot of absolutely amazing things this year. We are recording on Thursday, the 5th. So the Rangers have just come off a pretty incredible victory. I think probably one of the best of the season, which we can get into later. And we are playing the Montreal Canadiens tonight. And we will have a special guest on this episode, my mom, Michelle, who attended the New Year's Day Florida Panthers, New York Rangers game in Florida. She will be here to report on that. And I think we'll get into a couple of more things, including a little recap of the Winter Classic, some trade rumors, and then the World Juniors that are going on. So there's a lot of ground to cover.
Let me just kind of start by kind of giving a quick update on our news today. Like, we're sitting in some good positions, in my opinion, right now. We do, as always, have a tough division, and it begins to show. So where everybody was crying about up until now, I don't know where they're going to go, because their heads are going to explode, because this is where I start to get stressed out. But we're third in the Metropolitan Division right now. We are not comfortably there. we are barely there.
Yeah.
But we did, that this game this week, we did stop our top team in their run for no losses. So it was a good game this week. So we are sitting there. We're sitting 10th overall with a lot of close numbers. We have 48 points currently. I think it's good. I did not look into compare where we were last year. It's irrelevant to me because everybody plays at different levels. We're looking at Halak goal tonight. So that'll be an interesting game. And also, if you have not seen, it looks like Bradinsky's wife is going to have a baby. So he's out, and they called up Gustav, I think it's Rydell.
Rydell, yeah.
Yeah, so they called him up. So I think the last thing I saw was that he wasn't practicing, but he might be on his way to the game. So we'll see what happens there. So that's the news of the day. And then going into, we'll talk about this later, maybe what we're hoping to see from tonight, because I think Saturday's game is just going to be intense. We're talking about like real close hometown rivalry. We're 3 points behind New Jersey. And the other thing is we have a game in hand on these top two teams. I'm hoping that things even out and then we keep the wins, because, some of these other teams right now, Pittsburgh is 2 games behind us. So they have a chance to catch up if they're winning and they catch up on games. So I begin as the numbers person here, I begin to kind of really watch these numbers closely, start to project where we could be one way or the other with what's left. And I kind of go into Rain Man mode. So that's kind of where we are pre-game right now. So we're going to see.
It's good because it's going to start getting really interesting. I mean, every game, and this is why hockey, I think, starts to get really exciting right around here. And, we're still a little ways away from the All-Star break, but it starts to get incredibly meaningful, and every game, every point becomes so valuable, including who's losing, in the games that we're not playing, and seeing how everything starts to play out, especially with the weird schedule this year.
I know, right? And I usually wait until the All-Star game to freak out, but because I'm paying more attention these days, I think I'm there. So I'm a little ahead of schedule, but I am watching these games a little closer and the numbers a little closer. And the thing is, we're always like this. So it's anybody's game. We lose one or two and we're going to fall down pretty quickly. But at the same time, 56 points is where Carolina's at. So, I mean, everything's still attainable. I mean, we still have time if these streaks start happening for us and they start kind of winding down for others. I think we're going to still see another tight race to the end. And it usually ends up where we're playing Pittsburgh. So I guess my goal is for home ice advantage. Yeah. So
I think this podcast is going to start getting real interesting. And again, if anybody new is joining us, this is Double Defense. We are a Rangers podcast with 2 Rangers fans and a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. Go figure.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, honestly, after watching Monday's game, and we can talk about it later, but I'm really starting to question my team. I'm really starting to question Pittsburgh and their I don't want to say dedication, but just that their drive, it's not there. There must be some things happening. I'm more like, who am I going to watch beside the Rangers in the playoffs? And it's probably just going to be the Rangers.
Yes.
Well, what did my June emoji say? Yes. I think it said win.
Yes. That's right. That was perfect yesterday.
I was going to post mine, but it wasn't as good as yours. So
I know mine wasn't that good either.
So I held off on it. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to introduce Michelle, my mom, who is calling in from Florida, where she attended the Panthers-Rangers game.
While we're waiting, my old neighbor.
I'm here.
Oh, she came in. Yay!
Yeah.
Yay.
Hi.
Mom.
Do I put a share screen?
No. Just click where it says start video, where it says stop video.
Okay.
Just click on that.
Start video.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
Hey, Mom.
Yay.
Hi.
But Christine, I don't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Now I do. Okay.
Oh, I can get louder if you need me to.
No. Okay, we're good.
I'm not quiet.
We're good. Oh, and this is
Sarah. Hi.
Sarah from Calgary.
Yes.
Yes.
How are you? It's so nice to meet
Okay,
you.
I'm good. Oh, so nice to meet you too. I feel the same. You are a community, correct?
We are.
I think we're
We
more of
are.
a family now.
Now we're more.
Christine's being adopted.
A future troublemaking family. I know. I'm just adopting myself into all my friends' families. That's my goal.
Okay. So first, I just want to start with a quiz. All right.
Sure.
Jeez,
Are
who's
you
doing the
guys
hosting
ready?
here?
All right. I'm Michelle. Should we start with our quiz?
Sure. I'll let Liz answer. Just kidding.
Okay. All right.
Where's this
So,
going?
I'm
Trivia.
gonna
Where's
name-
that book? Get that book, Liz.
I'm going to name some drinks, and you're going to tell me where they're from.
Oh no.
Okay.
Ooh,
It'll
location
go
wise?
quickly.
Okay.
My kitchen.
It'll go quickly.
That count?
Okay. All right. You ready? New
I can
York
tell you where I
egg cream.
was. New York.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
New York egg cream. Tell me, New York or
Oh,
Florida?
my
Is this a trick
mother
question?
it's New York. It's like Bronx. But my mother loved egg creams.
Dr. Brown soda.
Feels like New York, isn't it? Has to be New York.
No, Florida.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
Appletini. Appletini.
Florida.
That definitely sounds Florida.
Cosmopolitan.
New York.
This is New York.
Yeah. It's like Sex and the City.
Martini. Straight up martini.
New York?
New York.
Are New York and Florida the only options for these drinks?
Let's keep it that way. I mean,
Key lime colada.
Florida.
No,
Florida.
Florida for sure.
Rum runner.
Florida. I've had that. Makes your tongue red.
90 miles from Cuba mojito.
The Florida.
Miami, for sure. Yeah. Florida.
Yeah.
Like I need to
Okay.
try all of these. I
Was
think
this
I have-
also the list of drinks that you had at the hockey game?
Yeah.
Everybody's incorrect because everybody's from New York, so everybody drinks everything. Okay.
But where are the drinks
I'm
from?
gonna tell you. Everybody who lives in Florida,
Hey,
the
that was a
most
trick
part-
question.
okay. I said I started with a quiz and a quick question. Okay. Anyway, but it's true. And when I went to the Ranger game, you see it's a massive sea of blue. And
Yeah, I
really,
like
there
hearing
were
that.
so many New Yorkers. And they were wearing the Ranger jersey, vintage ones, old ones, new ones, large, small, medium, kids. And if they didn't have Rangers jerseys, they had Ranger t-shirts. So there was a whole lot of them. and it was just a very pleasant experience. I have to say that I think that there was way more New Yorkers than Florida Panthers. And I don't think the Florida Panthers have a big following. I just don't think so. Do you want to hear my drink pairing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yes.
Well, I like the rum runner, but you have to make it frozen. Okay, and that's kind of symbolic. That's kind of symbolic of the Panthers, and they have to make it frozen because it's not a frozen state. I mean, let's face it, we're in hot weather, and then you're going into an arena that's freezing cold, and people have to dress accordingly. So everybody's used to wearing shorts and t-shirts. So that's what I think. And I want to say that for the Rangers, I picked the Manhattan with a cherry on top because they did fabulously. And it was a great game. It was very, very good. Now, is there anything you want to ask me?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Talking.
First question. Are there any Florida Panthers fans? Was anybody there wearing a Florida Panther shirt? Did you see one person at least wearing?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay.
Oh, is this a drinking game? I feel like your mom's gonna drink every time.
I'm just drinking water. I'll drink later. But what I wanted to say is the Florida Panthers, like when they score, they have this noise in the arena that sounds like it's
growl.
very weird.
It's a panther.
It's a growl.
It's a panther.
I heard
It's a
it.
panther.
We did hear it. You could hear it from the television broadcast.
Yeah,
I mean,
it beats the Pittsburgh horn.
Anything's better than the Pittsburgh air horn.
I was going to ask if it was a horn because there's also a lot of Canadians in Florida at this time of the year. So.
There are a lot. I see a lot of Ontario license plates. A lot.
The snowbirds. Yeah, that I heard that growl for the first time.
That growl, it was so annoying. It sounded like there was something wrong with the audio system.
Well, didn't
until
they only?
I figured out that was their tagline.
Well, didn't they only play it after a goal?
Yes.
So you didn't have to hear it that much.
You didn't have to hear it that much, but whatever it was, I thought, like, what's up with this? You know.
That was like our reaction in Vegas, with the shave thing. We just kind of looked at each other like it was the first time we were there. The first time you're hearing like their chants. It's exciting. Like everyone does something different. And they're more creative now. I think years ago my son bought a hockey horn that played all the different goal horns, but now we've escalated to that. So now there's chants and there's music and stuff. I think the lighting
cowbells too. I don't know why.
Oh, cowbells! No, that's
cowbells. Now, what was that about?
Those are just old pathetic hockey parents right there.
Okay, all right. I never heard of the cowbells, but
gotta write that down.
They were clearly there.
It's a hockey parent thing. The one you wanted to smash in the face, to be quite honest. This is where my sweet charm just goes into hockey mom mode. Been there.
Nice.
It's just to create noise and going from like a hockey parent kind of state of mind to some of these arenas. It really it's made to shake up the opponents. Anything they're going to do, they're going to chant. The best part is like this last season with our goalie being so good, we changed that chant around. So where arenas are going to chant against it, they would do it to intimidate the goalie. They would say Igor to intimidate him. But now we're like Igor to rally him on. So we've kind of knocked that out of the water.
And one of the things that I've heard a lot of the announcers talk about this year is how at so many away games, there are chants of Let's Go Rangers that go up at every single game. It is one fan base that travels, or whether or not the fan base is traveling or people have just moved out of New York, but stayed Rangers fans. I'm not exactly sure how that demographic is broken down, but I think it's very safe to say at the away games that we've been to this year, there have been a heavy presence of Rangers fans, no matter where it is.
It's like that locally, too, by the way.
Can I just give you a visual? All right. So like inside the arena, there are two escalators. One looks on the other. Okay. And after the game, they were screeching, "Let's go Rangers," down these enormous escalators. So it was like
us after the Vegas game.
Go Rangers!
Like almost like seeing a mirror image of the escalators because everybody's wearing blue. And then going outside the arena.
So one of the things that I'd be very curious about, and I'm going to give Sarah a goal, is to attend the Flames Rangers game on February 18th, because I am curious about how many Rangers fans are going to be in Canada. Like I imagine that Montreal tonight is not going to have that many blue jerseys.
Well,
Really? You're so close though.
Yeah.
well,
it's a different world.
I'll tell you.
Oh, I know. I'm aware.
There's not okay, and this kind of leads on to something else too. There's certain arenas, New York's one of them. I think Montreal is another one where most everybody that goes is wearing jerseys. I think there's a lot of places where there's business people, and you're not going to see as many things. It's really noticeable for Montreal because of the red. So it's something to kind of watch out for tonight and kind of see. And here, are we getting louder? Are we representing well? Let's see. Is it a USA thing only? Well, let's kind of keep an eye tonight. If you do go to the game, which would be fabulous, that'll be an interesting thing to kind of note and keep an eye on.
My whole family is going to that game. We're going with my parents, and I'm really excited about that one for many reasons, obviously. But I'll be curious to see. I'm sure there will be at least a couple. Calgary is one of those buildings where it is a sea of red, or at least a sea of jerseys. Often a sea of red, though, when you're in a Calgary game. But I saw one Rangers jersey at the Edmonton LA game I went to, which I thought was so random.
Random. There were a couple at the Winter Classic. Even when the Rangers aren't playing, there's always a few.
Well, I definitely appreciate people who kind of stick with their jersey. They stick with their player. I've been to Kings games before where, I don't know who the person is, but someone likes a player and they change teams. So they're there to represent, and they're going to have that old jersey on, and it's going to be a different team. But there's a lot of credit for people who are standing up and sticking with their player and their team to go to places and do that. It takes a lot of guts to do that, and they stand by their grounds. Props to everybody there.
It does. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Any standouts from the game? Any special plays?
What do we learn?
Well, for a while, I started thinking about a Bashi shot, because they were.
Wait, for the Rangers or against the Panthers? I mean, you can go two ways there.
No, it looked like at one point it was rather close. And then, of course, the Rangers, pulled it out at the end. I don't remember exactly at what point that it was changed to 5-3. It might have been in the third period. I wrote it down, actually. But
I think the final was 5-2.
5-2. 5-2.
Yeah.
But then it was 3-2. And that's when it started getting a little nerve-wracking. When it was 3-2. Wait a second. I wrote it down here. What I do want to say is the game afterwards, the Panthers played Arizona Coyotes. And you know what the final score was? The Carolinas was not Carolina. What is it? What is Arizona Coyotes and the Florida Panthers? And Florida Panthers had the 5. And the Arizonas had the 3. So
That's
I guess they got inspired from playing the Rangers, right?
Can go back and forth either way.
And actually, Liz mentioned to me, while we were at the game, she mentioned that the goalie that we saw was Halleck.
You know what? I actually wasn't. I thought it was, but now I'm reading the box score and it says it was Shesterkin. I swore it was Halak, but
I think I'm saying it wrong, but because you said to me,
Halak's, I know Halak's playing tonight. I know. I thought it was him, but now I think it might have been Shesterkin. Oh no, it was Halak. So that's weird. There's two recaps. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was 5-3. That was the final. The recap that I was just reading was not correct. It was 5. Yes, you're right. It was 5-3. It was Halak in goal.
It was okay.
Yes.
And then towards the end, the other team, of course, was the Panthers. They were skating with 6 players with no goalie. I guess that's what happens at the end, because it was they needed a chance.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Do you know, so they'll regularly do that if you're not aware.
You're saying everything is just played out at the other end, and nothing's going on when you're watching your goalpost closer to where you're sitting.
Right.
And where were you guys sitting? Were the Rangers on that side twice?
Two times Rangers, one time the Panthers.
Okay, very nice.
So it was 1,
so you get all the action.
3
Oh,
with
where they
all the
shoot.
action.
Oh yeah. See,
What's that? Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's
What's
good. So
that?
it looked like it was a good
I'm
game.
gonna- I'm
So you
just
had a,
gonna tell. I'm just gonna tell you. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's something I'll probably do once and not again. It's a very expensive day.
well, you need
It
to
is
come with us.
super expensive. Oh! I'm
Just wait till
telling
you're
you.
buying double vodka sodas in Vegas. Jeez, talk about expensive.
Oh!
I know.
Please! I almost, I almost died when I saw $35 for parking. Now I shouldn't. I
That
shouldn't
feels
be because I know.
reasonable. That feels
I
reasonable
know, I know.
compared to like Madison Square Garden.
I know that's my
I
parking.
know.
That's why I park there. And actually, it's not too
But
bad at Madison
but
Square
when you
Garden.
go, when you go to see like the Mets and the Marlins play, because that's like a couple of times gone to those games. It's much
You
more
got a budget
reasonable.
for it.
It's
It's
much
definitely a
more.
night out. Like sometimes I don't know how some of my friends who have season tickets that are going, to every game,
Oh,
and
Yeah.
so it does become a big thing.
it
So
was, yeah, it was very expensive, but whatever. It was very enjoyable, and they have a beautiful tiki bar area right outside. I mean, I'm saying to myself, now if this was in New York or in LA, what would we be seeing here? This was people having cocktails. This was a gorgeous wicker furniture and couches, and people walk by and the Ranger fans, come sit with us. That's how it is. It's how it is.
what are you
Very
saying that we're
friendly
nice?
atmosphere.
I think so.
Oh, I
It
love
was.
that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
very,
it sounds
very
nice.
nice. It was.
Meets a couple
It
of
was
homeless
beautiful.
weirdos walking by the Staples Center.
You said it, not you said it, not me. I didn't say it. I didn't see anything like that.
No,
Yeah.
I
I
know.
didn't see anything
That's
like that.
well, that sounds like a
Yeah.
lovely place to go see a game.
Generally speaking,
It
at all
really
the
is.
games, it's somebody had posted on one of the ladies' boards, proof that we can all get along, and they referred to the Winter Classic and how there was so many blended jerseys, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, that's every game I've gone to where there's so many blended jerseys. It was a cute little view when the one Pittsburgh guy got the puck and he was being congratulated by the Bruins.
That was
fan.
sweet. Yes.
Like
That's
that
cute.
was really well, like, they kept it on for a while. And then that was really cute because I didn't think they knew each other. And it could be, honestly, like it's something to talk about when we're on the podcast with the guys once. It's like they're going to get different reactions. I've seen it before, but generally speaking, the people I'm around and when I go, it's always a good blended thing. Everyone's doing it. And Vegas was great too, because not only did they lose, but we had people coming up and saying like, good game. And that was kind of a first because we didn't even solicit the comments. It just came nicely. So
Yeah,
really?
people are in a good mood in Vegas. I think same with San Jose. I think same in LA. The only incident I remember in like recent past is the guy who there was a game at Madison Square Garden where a Ranger fan punched somebody, and that was kind of shitty.
Plus it was caught on camera. There's always going to be something, but it was caught on camera.
Yeah.
Now that I was trying to look up because I don't think it's the Panthers. I think it was the Lightning. But a couple years ago during playoffs, they banned the Rangers from buying. Anybody.
I remember that. Yeah.
From buying tickets, you weren't allowed to put I guess somewhere it's on the tickets where you're not allowed to be representing other teams. And I think it's more the Lightning. But
I think it was a team that didn't have like a whole lot of like local supporters. It was either Carolina or Tampa.
Yeah, it was one of those two teams. During
restricted.
playoffs,
You had to
terrible.
buy. You
had to be a
buy
local resident.
ticket. Yeah, if you
to-
were
and
the zip code.
Carolina. I think that was in Carolina. I remember that.
No,
That was
it was a Florida one. Carolina, I think, might have picked it up too, but it started in Florida during the playoffs. So I think it was Lightning that did it, and it was such a cheeseball kind of move. It didn't stop anything, but to restrict people, I don't even know how they can really do that. But I remember when
I think there's only so much policing that they can do, and you kind of understand it. They're trying to grow a fan base in their own local market. So if the whole thing is taken over by crazy New Yorkers who are all going to road trip.
Well, Tampa Bay too, though. I know a lot of people that were in Toronto at one point buying season tickets in Tampa Bay because it was cheaper to fly down to Tampa Bay, watch a game, and come back on weekends.
Drive over and go see the game.
Toronto, yeah, because it's so expensive.
Yeah. Did you like any aspects? There were a couple of penalties during the game. You saw they're pulling the goalie out, which they're going to do. And that gets exciting because, and when it's a 1-goal game, like it has worked for people where they've tied it up. And especially with the Rangers, we're notorious for letting in goals with a minute to go.
It's like the
So
Winter Classic, which would have been tied with one literal 0.1 seconds left. We'll
so
get it. We can
good.
get into that. We can get into that after. But from the game, from the Florida Panthers game, what did you like about it? Any standout players or moves or anything like that from the Rangers?
You can even go with a cute. Did you see anyone cute? We like that too. That always draws us in.
Well, yes,
The
I
Kreider
will
and
say
Zibanejad
this.
hug.
I don't know about that romance. I really can't comment on it. So I saw a couple of sitting outside in this beautiful venue where they have, seating and whatnot. A dad and two sons, they were from Sweden. And I said, oh, are you Ranger fans? They go, no, we just want to see a hockey game from the US. So they had the interest. So don't forget there's an international crowd in Miami, and this is actually not in Miami. It's an area west of Fort Lauderdale called Sunrise, and that's where it is. But there were international people who want to see what a USA hockey game was about.
I've met a few people like traveling around, on vacation, and
like on vacation, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun because they're all hockey players themselves usually, and so
this was the case.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this was the case. This was the case.
They just want to see it in America, and
they want to see what it's like to be in America. They weren't specifically Panther fans or Ranger fans,
Yeah, because they'll typically know players and stuff coming from the different foreign countries and stuff, so they're pretty good on knowing who the players are. I've seen a lot of support on people. I met a whole youth hockey team in New York from Sweden that were there to support Henrik's retiring. It was a whole team, so that was
is that right?
Pretty fun.
So cool.
So that was a good find actually at a game. I love to kind of meet new people to kind of see and find tourists.
Oh my God! Yes.
Those are experiences that I like to do too. It's connecting with. That's how I met Liz. Yeah, it's just kind of connecting with a lot of game. You never know.
Why not? And then you put the element of Florida into it, where people are not paranoid so much about why are they asking me this or who are they or it's nice that way.
New Yorkers are like, why are you talking to me?
why do you think? Why are you talking to me? Do you know me? But in Florida, come sit down, talk. You don't even have to have common ground. You could just be online at the grocery store, and this just happened to me recently. Somebody called me out for having 11 items on a 10-item line, and the lady behind me starts talking to me, and she goes, "What a dick!" I have to agree.
That's so New York. That could be the nice
people are from New York,
Exactly.
I mean, calling me out on the line.
So how did you find, how was your crowd where you were sitting? Were people loud? Were they chirping? Did they know the calls? I mean, that's the thing you'll find is when there's a shot that goes just wide, people are like, oh no. And they get all hyper.
Yeah, there are a lot of oohs, ahs. Yeah, a lot of that. Yes, definitely. Yeah, but I don't think they were spectators. I think they were people who really understood the game. And I certainly got that impression.
It's good. We're a knowledgeable fan base.
So my follow-up question is
costly to be, if you're not.
Well, a lot.
In my opinion,
there's a lot of different ways people get tickets too. But okay, so here's my follow-up question. So you're in this crowd, this is the first time you're at the game. How did that energy feel when you are surrounded by people who know the sport and are there rooting for it? With that energy around you, how did that feel for you?
It feels like $1 million. It felt
it's kind of electric,
especially. I want to tell you, especially because Liz mentioned this to me. She says, go ahead of time and watch the skate out by the glass. So yeah, definitely did.
Did you go down to the front?
That was exciting. Yeah, went down to the front, and it was loaded with Ranger people.
Yeah.
So cool. I didn't see. You gotta
get up in the front and get your chest against the glass and just get them going in your face. They like that.
That's that's for Double D to do. You said chest against the glass. Come on. But on the
we don't do that already.
Season's still young.
I didn't see the Panthers having that many people when they skated out. I didn't see that. It was just a sea of blue.
Yeah,
That's very
really
exciting.
was, and that was very exciting. Yeah,
and that's going to be
yeah.
typical of a visiting team. So, you
Mhm.
know, because there's always like Kings game, Duck game. There's a couple of fans. I had a friend who just brought her daughter to the game last night, to the Ducks game last night. And she was busy. They were there so early. They were walking in empty hallways. And I was like, take her down to the glass. And she messaged me later.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I didn't see that till later. And I'm like, are you kidding? She sees my
It's the
post.
best
I'm
part.
like, why
Yeah.
did you not do that? So,
Well, Liz, you specifically mentioned to do that, so I did.
Yeah, it's the best part because you get
It's a-
you get up close and personal with the players,
And I
and you
got
really
some-
can
and
see
I got
them
some-
and watch them warm
I
up.
got some good video.
Was it Laugh at the Kings game who just like sat by himself for like
Yeah,
10 minutes and
so-
like stared at the pondering over the ice?
He does that, but so does Keandre. So a lot of times they'll just come out for a few moments and sit and just look at the ice, and then they seem so calm and content. Then they go back in, so it's cute when they come out. So it's typically the two of them.
Yeah, you
Not
get to
together.
see-
They do it by themselves.
I just like that you get to see sort of like the pregame warm up rituals that you would never get to see, like because you know the television's not catching any of that stuff. That's like the real personal stuff with the players. Who's talking to who? Kako's always been on cleanup duty. I don't know if you've noticed that, but every single warm up, because we've been watching at all the games we've gone to, it's Kako who's been cleaning out the net at the end of every single practice warm-up round. So he's been on cleanup duty from the very beginning. I don't know if
And-
that's like a purposeful
The
choice
talent?
or there's like but it's every single time. And I could even see it in the video that you sent that he was
see.
still on cleanup duty. Yep.
And guess who's always last to leave the ice?
It's Crides.
No,
It's always Crides. During warm-ups? Who is it?
Warm-ups. It's
Panarin?
Panarin. Yeah, he waits and does that whole like ramp up and speed off and then runs off. Like he does the same move every time. And so, yeah, no, it's Panarin. So he gets on the other side. He just goes really fast and just it's silly, but it's fun.
But it's cute. Yeah, it makes him feel like very very human. It's cool.
It also kind of shows it is real ritualistic from what we see. And we only are seeing a small part. We're seeing, a couple of guys come out and take their moment of reflection. We're seeing cleanup duty. We're seeing how Panarin's always the last one. And then that kind of ritual continues into the end of the game where it's going to your point, like it's always Kreider at the last one out. So these are just part of the rituals that we see. There's so many more that we don't, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that, Mom, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate.
My goodness, it was my pleasure, and it really makes me happy that you ladies are really passionate about this.
Yeah,
and I tried to drum up business, at the game for Double D. I did mention it to a few times. I said it many times, and maybe you'll get a few new listeners.
We'll
I
have to
think
work
that
on
would be
some
great.
merchandise for you to hand out.
I got some ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Yes.
do that. And then definitely we're going to do the drink pairing. I'll choose one of your quiz selections since we're going to having a hometown rivalry on Saturday. I'll pick definitely a New York drink.
Absolutely.
That sounded good for our game drink on Saturday.
Now, when you say hometown rivalry, who are you talking about? Rangers and Islanders?
The Devils.
Devils.
The Islanders are the
Oh,
other one,
Devils.
but we're done playing
Yeah,
them currently.
Yeah.
So it'll be
it'd
the Devils.
the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
Okay, are they a fairly new team, New Jersey
No.
Devils?
No.
No.
They've been around like forever.
Yeah. And they're very close. So one of the things with those teams too, you're talking about having a sea of blue in Florida. It's interesting. I went to the Islander game earlier this year, and it's not that many more Islander fans than there are Ranger fans. It's a really good blend. The funny thing is you don't really see that too much. It's not an equal disbursement when you're at Madison Square Garden. So Rangers fans try to get in there everywhere. Watch on Saturday if you can. You tend to see a lot of Ranger fans at the Devils game. The Devils arena is closer to Madison Square Garden than the Islanders.
Yeah.
So it's easy for people to get to. A lot of people live in Jersey, so they're going to go and represent there. So it tends to be a lot more Ranger fans at Devils games too. But the Devils are hot right now, so they're going to be out and representing themselves. And
Interesting.
they're only a few points ahead of us, so Saturday's game is going to be pretty good. It'll be a fun one to
It'll
watch.
be a big game for sure.
You'll learn a lot more if you want to watch, Mom.
Next time we're going to talk about trade rumors and the development league. So-
And next time you're on, we're going to quiz
practice.
you.
Yeah.
We're going to quiz
We're
you.
going
So
hard.
get ready.
We're gonna what?
I'm
We're
going to
gonna
quiz you. I'm going to have a quiz
Okay.
ready for you.
I just wanted to just point out that there were so many New Yorkers, so all the drinks go to everybody.
They
That's why.
do.
I love that. They
And
mostly go
here's
to-
to you, ladies.
And cheers.
Cheers.
And
Cheers.
cheers.
Mazel
Cheers.
tov.
And wait a minute,
Everything.
may I say one thing that
Yes.
has nothing to do with this? There's a TV program that I adore called The White Lotus. Now, I know Liz saw it. It's one of her favorite
I've
shows.
seen it.
I don't know if you other ladies have seen it. Well, I don't know if you remember the toast that they say, but they say to the good life. And I love that. So I'm going to say to the
To
good
the good
life.
life. I have a tattoo that says to life. So I hear you. Cheers.
Okay, there.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. Thank
I got
you
my
so
Thank
Rangers
much.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And let's
I'm
go
the
Rangers.
neutral.
Let's go Rangers. Got to get
Nice,
that
Mom.
check.
Oh, lots of that. Lots of that.
Thank you.
But you know what? Same syllables as Panthers. They say that too.
No, they just ripped it off of us.
They did, of
Yeah,
course.
1990.
Of course. Okay.
1990s team.
Okay. All right.
All right. All right. Thanks, Mom.
You're
Bye.
shutting me off.
I'm turning you
All right.
off. That was Michelle,
Good night.
everybody. That was
Yay.
Michelle.
All right. Thank you.
Hi. Oh my God, she's so cute. I think we need to go see your mom, Liz. I'm not joking.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh, I want to
We
go
should,
harder
we
on
should
the
make
quiz,
her.
but-
We should make her drink all those drinks she mentioned.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yes.
Come on, Mom.
We'll have to get her more into hockey. We'll get her a little bit more used
There's
to some of the costs at hockey games. I don't know what she
Oh,
was
yeah.
expecting, but you haven't really lived until you've paid $88 for one round of drinks.
It was
I
very,
have.
For two people.
it was very telling of the demographic that I know of Florida, certainly coming from Ontario, but it was very cute. She's adorable.
Well, she's very appreciative to be part of the podcast, so she can be our official Florida double defense correspondent.
Hey guys, this is Christine with Double Defense. When you get a chance, follow us on Instagram at double_defense_NYR. Also on Facebook. Look for us to do drink pairings for each of the games on our stories, and not too far away, look for us to be live as we broadcast from all three of our locations on a weekly basis. So we look forward to seeing and hearing from you.
Before we wrap up, I think there's a couple of more things that we wanted to talk about. One there's been a lot of rumors. I mean, there's always rumors on the internet. That's what the internet is for. But a lot of talk about trading Lafreniere. I don't know if you've heard anything, Christine. I can see the look on your face for anybody who is just only listening to audio. Christine seems to be over this rumor.
Well,
What are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts? Because really, this is an interesting question as the trade deadline is, I think it's March 3rd. So as we are coming up to that, you can make an argument either way. I'd be leaning toward the not trading him, and I have various reasons for that. But what are your thoughts?
Not that I don't care, but look, I'm one that this is a business. So it's funny that's just listening and watching people. I think people are creating rumors, which I don't like. They just I had a discussion, I think, with my finger quotes with some people where I'm like, are we not over this? I mean, look, this has been going on. I think we brought this up in the beginning, where they're talking about trading for Kane, right? So it's like, this has been in months. And then they're yelling at me. They're like, well, it's still a news item. I'm like, well, here's the article from like October. I'm like, why are you like, what's new about this? So I think it's just stuff circulating. The minute they take Laffy out of a game, that's where everything starts, heating up. So I honestly just don't think we have that many indicators just yet to decide. Now, we just had VC signed for an extended contract. So things are starting to happen. But
And the other thing too is we get closer to as we get closer to the trade deadline, if the Rangers keep playing as well as they do, they're not lacking for anything. It's not like, oh, if we had a little bit more of this, or we had somebody like this. Everybody's been performing. I think in the game the other day, I don't remember if it was the Florida game or if it was a different game, but it was like 5 goals, 5 different scorers. Everybody is doing their part right now. Even Halak is looking good. I mean, we'll see how the game goes tonight, because I think tonight will be very interesting. But I feel like everybody's playing their part. Everybody's stepping up. The synergy is there. Why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm a little bit worried. Gallant's he gets a little fix heavy and change heavy, and he's a little bit hard to pin down in terms of strategy and what's what's going on behind the scenes there. But I would say, hey, if this is working, don't mess it up.
Well, it's working now. What he had in the beginning wasn't working. So now you have these lines are performing well. And I think the shakeup kind of determine things. I mean, sometimes you got to move players to realize, oh, wait, I had a good when we were on the line together. So I think the shakeup has done well. We've never fallen below midway, contrary to what, if you read a board might sound like,
Yes.
we're like the worst team in the league today. Well, we're like in 10th place.
Yeah.
We're third in the league. So
fire everybody. Get rid of everyone.
yeah, exactly. Well, here, I was talking about that, right? So I don't want to do it now because it's mid-season, but I think I might play the little game next season where, the minute I see somebody like bitching about one of our players and needing to trade, I want to jump on and who are you going to trade him for? I want to create a team, this hypothetical team of what we're going to end up with after all these couch coaches, have traded our entire team away based on one goal, or one bad pass. And then I want to see what team we ended up with. I mean, I think it'd be a fun game to play because the minute someone else says, oh, like 2 days later, we should trade so-and-so. I'm like, nope, he's already been traded. Now it's this guy. So do we keep him or do we trade him? And I just want to see kind of where we end up with the things I see, on the different boards. I think that would be kind of fun.
That's a great idea.
It's a good experiment. I do like that.
What about Gallant though? I know over text we've talked quickly about, he kind of seems a little bit out of his mind. Even looks now. Since we've talked about that, I watch him on the TV and I'm like, he's got these intense looks on his face.
He should. I do too.
Is there anybody else in mind that you think would really be effective in that role?
There's been a couple of names thrown around. I've heard Mark Messier's name thrown around.
Oh, I love that idea. That's a great idea.
It would be super fun. I really don't know what kind of coach he would be for the Rangers. But I have heard his name thrown around quite a few times. And then is it Barry Trotz is the other one I think that I've heard people talking about. But whatever Gallant's doing right now,
it's working.
I don't think it's working. And I don't know if
he's not going anywhere. It's not going to happen.
No, I looked up his contract. I think he's still good for at least another year.
Yeah. So
it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah. If it was up to the boards, it would be Mark Messier coaching Shesterkin and maybe Kane, I guess. And it would just be the two of them skating around.
I think people want Drury to go before Gallant. So let them all battle it out and let's see. I think the trade rumors are going to start swirling. I guess, because there's the deadline's coming up soon. We only have a couple more weeks. They're going to start flying. The real side of the trade is like those Blackhawks trade, with them being at the bottom right now with such good players. The talk is going to go around. I mean, they're talking we don't have money for a lot of these players. The reality of it is and I think that's one of the reasons why the Rangers have such a young team, because they're commodities. They're going to be worth a lot more money in trades because there's a lot more, they have a lot more years to them than some of these other players. And they're quicker, they're more durable, and there's a reason for it. So again, we hate to see them go, and we definitely hate to play them like, the other day when Carolina has half our team. I don't want anybody to score. I don't want Aho scoring, but I don't want anybody I like, to score either. So, it gets to be a tough mix, especially in a game like that. So, you never know what you want to see. So right now, Laffy's right at the top, but he's doing well. If whoever sits, anybody who sits out or gets put down, on a healthy scratch is going to shoot to the top of the boards right now. But at the same time, if you're a coach and you want to trade, you're going to want to be playing these guys too. So
absolutely. So
watch it both ways. And bottom line is not up to us.
Watch this space, everyone. We will certainly keep you posted online with anything that we hear. I want to throw it over to Sarah to give us a little recap on her favorite team and the Winter Classic, which happened just this Monday. New Year's Day observed, not actual New Year's Day.
Yeah, actual New Year's Day. Yeah, it was Monday, right? Yeah, the second. Honestly, I was half a bottle of champagne, and by the time that game started, I know we were back and forth trying to figure out what was going on. Not my favorite Winter Classic, but aesthetically, I thought it was really nice. Minus the ice conditions, that was a whole other thing. But
and they really leaned into the let's combine baseball and hockey concept.
I hated it.
It was a little much.
It was so much. I actually have it in my notes when I was prepping, even going back to look on like some of the photos from Monday. It was just, why? They didn't even do this last time they did it. I don't know.
The ceremonial first, the puck pitch.
First puck pitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a no for me.
It was Bobby
No.
Orr, which is fine. But then the other guy, I'm like, who are you? Like, I don't know. Yeah. And I love too, every time they zoomed in on Bobby Orr through the game, he kept looking away. It was kept ruining the shot. It was pretty funny. Speaking of aesthetics, like the outfits. So I thought the coaches, I loved their look, minus that horrible bear, but like just the hat and the,
yes.
the jackets. And I thought it was really cute, really nice throwback.
It looked good on them.
They were
so.
very and both teams were very color coordinated. I really liked that. I thought everything matched very well.
I was a little off with the gray hats on Boston, but I think they must complement the Penguins jerseys. Like I was trying to figure out where that went in. Someone must have been like, give Pittsburgh the black hats because they have to wear those god awful jerseys. I don't know.
I know. Well, I always thought that before, like, I guess I have to look, they're more coordinated. There was no coordination.
It was coordinated for sure.
I wasn't into the Pittsburgh outfits myself. So it was, well, you guys know because I was texting you.
Yeah, no, I didn't love it either. My husband was like, are you going to get that jersey? Like kind of like looking at me like, please don't wear it.
I'm gonna pass.
And I was like, no, don't worry. We're good.
And the Winter Classic hat was totally different. It was like turquoise. It wasn't like a light blue color, completely clashing all together. So
yeah,
it didn't match anything. So
kind of made me wonder if someone got fired in between that.
We'll start over
of the merch and the outfit. Quickly though, so obviously we know now Boston beat out Pittsburgh. It was Pittsburgh's 5th straight loss at that point. Jake DeBrusk scored twice in the third, giving the Bruins 2-1 win. This was his 3rd Winter Classic, but his first time scoring. So I thought, kind of exciting for him. He's in Boston. For Pittsburgh, it was Kapanen. He got the only goal. Notably, though, the goalies, which we saw in the first period, switched out. Jari had an injury there, still suffering. So that's too bad for him. I think DeSmith held on to it, but I like him. I like Jari.
Jari's not bad. And then Letang was out as well. So do you think that kind of had something to do with it as well? I don't know how he's been playing.
Well, he's out with a lower body injury and he's still day-to-day, and then his dad passed away.
Okay, so he was kind of already day-to-day anyway.
He's day-to-day and he's still day-to-day. He's not expected.
Okay.
He may come back next week against Vancouver on the 10th. I did look, Christine, prior to this call. So the minutes Letang had on the ice prior to his second stroke, he's about 22 and a half minutes per game. And then since he's come back, he's about 26 minutes per game. Wow. Give or take, those stats are a little all over the place, but he certainly is playing more than he was. And I thought that was interesting too. The team overall, I was not impressed with Pittsburgh. The whole passing of Crosby to Malkin and that entire situation, the entire game, tiring. It's old, as we've said before. And actually pivoting to the World Juniors just for a second, watching the World Juniors, doesn't matter which team is playing, there's a youth there that Pittsburgh needs. And I hope they make some decisions in the offseason. I'm not confident for a strong playoff run. They may make it, but they're not destined to be there for long.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Well, right now you're kind of suffering from what I call the Rangers February syndrome, which is injuries. So we typically get injured around that time, knock on something that we don't.
I don't even think they want it though, Christine. Like you can tell when people want it, like your team, they're aware.
Yeah. Well, hey, right now we're healthy and like we usually go down with some big injury. We lost Blay like in the beginning in November, like a year ago, right when he was doing well. And I mean, I remember I was at that game, but when you lose when the line's working or something's working and you do that one thing, it really just throws off the momentum in cases. So now you've got, if you got Jari out and Letang's kind of in and out. I don't know if you have any other injuries and stuff like that kind of shows. So maybe keep an eye on when they're expected to come back and how that'll be. If they're not, they're still in the game where you guys are in 44 points. You're one game back, 2 games back, right? So, you could still kind of keep up. I mean, you're not out of anything right now. So we'll kind of reassess that and see if it, is it injury related? Did the throw of the Winter Classic kind of cloud their thing with the ice and the fans and the baseball? So we'll just kind of get them back on track. We are going to see things heat up, and I expect everything to get much closer, in terms of stats and everything. You guys are fine. I don't know why I'm defending you. It's because I like you. I'm like, why am I defending this team? I'm like, you're injured. I'm like, oh, let me take notes on that one.
Do I sound like your boards where I'm just like, I've had enough? But Crosby too. Crosby up, including the Winter Classic. Crosby hadn't scored in 4 games. So
oh my God. So
could be that mustache. Oh my God. But
so how many times were like, it was on TNT, right? So they just make me want to stab myself in the face. So
it was every commercial,
every commercial. And they were talking about how, oh, you're lucky. So they were talking about Crosby just being on this Mount Rushmore of players and stuff. I mean, it was funny because they overwrote, like they weren't even talking about Ovi. I mean, I know that it was the Pittsburgh that they were playing, but right now you've got Ovechkin, kind of inching up and he's going to break a record in his career here. And so, but you're not even mentioning like him and all that conversation. It was really overloaded. I had to turn it off. I just kept turning the channel a lot when they kept talking. Some of those plays just aren't always working. I mean, I keep saying that to some of these other players. I like that we, just like last game, I like that we had 5 players scoring 5 goals, and we just did that before only a couple weeks ago. I like that we all had the potential to score, and we do. And we're breaking, we have a lot of milestones we're breaking that we can't even keep up with because there's so many. And Adam Fox is at the top and Panarin's on the top and the points are coming. And luckily for us, I've got people on my Instagram that love to put those things up. So when I like kind of going on and waking up, and then those stats are just waiting right there for me, and they're there and they're good. So we don't want to let it get buried into other things with these other teams, the few teams that are having streaks right now and they're on the top, because we got Letang, like just right there. He's going to get more ice time. We're more equaled out on ice time and everything, but that's why we are all getting opportunities to score over, the Ovechkins and the Crosbys of other teams. So they're only going to last so long, in my opinion. That's why we're building up a business and a commodity. So let's just hold it together. So that'll be the thing in the next few sessions we have here.
Well said. And before we wrap up, I know the World Juniors have been going on. I know that you guys have been following it pretty closely. I think the finals are tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, Team USA won the bronze this afternoon over Sweden, 8-7.
Go USA.
Yeah, honestly, I think they look great when they came out yesterday. They scored the first 2 goals of the game. Just Canada kind of came back really strong and they just didn't stop. They're playing right now scoreless in the first. They're playing Czech, which we played on Boxing Day for our first game, who we lost to. So we switched out goalies, and the goalie they switched out to is phenomenal. A lot of Fleury similarities there. Connor Bedard, who's leading for points for Canada, he'll be the MVP, I'm certain. He plays for the Regina Pats right now. I'm certain will also be picked up after this. He has no ties to any NHL teams right now. Neither does Milic, the goalie. And together, they have a very nice style together. So I think it'd be nice to see if someone picked them up. No different than the Fleury Crosby pickup after their time at the World Juniors.
It's exciting. These kids have like a whole career ahead of them. Like, what an amazing opportunity.
I miss the days of like the Olympics and those kind of, because right now it's more of an emphasis on these junior competitions to kind of pull these new players out. I remember the days where we had all the players coming from the Olympics I wish it went back that way. I don't like that we have professionals that play in the Olympics. I liked watching these guys kind of fight for everything and get picked up immediately by teams. And some of my favorite, players as a kid came out of like the Olympics and games like that. So yeah, kudos to all of them. It's been fun to watch. I mean, really, when I watch the women playing, I would want to kind of focus more in on the youth games and stuff. And we're still trying to learn how to find all these games and watch them in its entirety without issues.
Another podcast.
Yeah,
I know. That's every other podcast.
If anyone is listening, yes, people want to tune in. We don't want to make it complicated.
We're still working on that.
Still working on it. Well, thank you, ladies. Happy 2023.
Yes!
We're so excited for the rest of the season. Please keep giving us a follow and a listen on social media and wherever your favorite podcast can be found. And thank you all. And yeah, we have an exciting week coming up. Some big games. So we can't wait to recap the week for you next week.
And happy birthday to Michelle, our special guest today.
Oh, yes. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
And
Cheers.
to an amazing year, and that it gets better and better and better, and that, we win.
We win all of it.
We just want to win everything.
Pittsburgh comes in second. Well, I guess not second. I guess you would come in third. All right.
All right, guys.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.